Okay, so Chiefs played Morocco Swallows this past weekend. They won by 1-0. Some might say it was a lucky goal. Some might say it was the Math revival. But that was the results. And of course, we had a press conference after where Coach Cavin Johnson was asked a couple of questions about the game, about alleged racism, about people drinking. Let's hear what he had to say and react along as we hear, the comments made by the coach. Shout out to Lorenz Collar for the visuals, the press conference visuals. Those guys work so hard to give us these visuals. So please support, watch the full things, watch the other press conferences, watch the content that he has on YouTube because it really is great. It is Key Times reporter and 10 pets, King 10 pet ambassador Lorenz Collar. Check out his channel. So let's hear what Coach Cavin Johnson had to say.
Congratulations on the win. Big win for the team, but obviously this week has probably been a difficult one in terms of what's been in the news about the team. Just how have you managed to get the team through this week with reports of Kune and as well as talks of the racial things in Kaizer Chiefs with black players and colored players? Just how has that week been for you as a coach?
I'm lucky I'm the only white one. No, I think...
If there's one thing about Coach Cavin Johnson, he will tell an awkward joke and just make the whole room awkward.
It doesn't, we read it all the time. And then Kaizer Chiefs being the brand they are, I think there's a lot of people that look to take this big brand to a lower level, because in reality there's no brand that's as strong as this brand. So whatever you can find, whatever you can do to try and discredit them is always in the papers. And I think it's not only now, it's been for a good few years, you know what I'm saying? And myself, being born in a country where it was black and white, I know how to handle those things. So when it comes to those things, it's like water on a duck's back for me. Because if you were born when the rainbow was black and white, and now it's colorful, then you know how to handle those. So we don't have any problem within our village of that sort of nature. And the players, I mean, you congratulate me on the win, and you can see on the pitch that they want to do it for each other. And that, I only lead the team, but when you look at the people at the back of me, and you look at the people on the side of me, then you can see it's what we've been pressing for, is the 3 points.
I don't want to comment about the racism stuff. You never know what's happening. But I want to speak about that last part that he mentioned, that the players want to do it for each other. I don't know. I watched that game and I thought to myself, do these people even train together? Like, do these people go to practice and understand each other? Because tactics aside, there's some things that you learn relationship-wise about each other from a lot of practice. You learn that Lo agafuni pola la, Lo tandi pola on his feet. Oh, no, he does this, that one does that. You learn those things. And for me, to be honest with you, when I watch Kaizer Chiefs, sometimes it feels as though the players don't train together, but it almost feels as though they don't work together either. So we've been working towards the 3 points. Yes, I can understand that, but I don't know about the players working towards this for him. And another thing that I want to speak about is this brand thing, man. Can we put the brand talk aside, guys? Can we put the brand talk aside? The brand of Kaizer Chiefs was winning. I don't know what other brand they're speaking about, right? So can we put that aside and, brands and history and all of that, and just focus on getting the football back? That's just an aside. Like, I'm tired of the brand stuff. They even call us Museum FC. I'm tired, man. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's hear what he had to say going forward.
Coach, congratulations on the win. I think we could see from, if you look at the goal, how it came by his press, he pressed them there. And also we saw those moments again in the first half where you are really trying to press them, because Swallows really does to play to build from the back. Do you think maybe you should have made more out of the chances that you got from the press that you were effective?
Yeah, I thought Ox had a good chance if he were just a little bit more calmer. I thought
Mshini.
Mshini had a brilliant chance. Unfortunately, guys, Mshini, I don't call him Mshini. Huh? I call him Pony. You know he's got ponies. So I call him Pony. So when I have to say Mshini, I forget his name. But that's me and him got this name. And I thought we did that very well. I also thought that they stuck to their game plan. Moroka Swallows, and I have to give credit for that, because they tried all. It was only late in the first half, that they tried to change it a little bit and pick up the second ball. But we were aware of that type of movement that they could make, and I thought we had a better first half and probably second half also.
I actually want to touch on that. The most shocking thing from this game was Swallows trying to play out from the back over and over and over and over again. They tried so hard to do that thing that at the end of the game, you sat back and you're like, guys, I'm not going to give them credit. Coach gives them credit. I can't give credit to a team that does something wrong over. I think they did it 7 or 8 times. They got caught out on the 6th or 7th time, if I'm not mistaken, where the goal came in. But the whole game, they tried to play out from the back. You could tell they haven't practiced it like that. They had the ball, you played to your defender, they played back to Akpe. Akpe waits. Chiefs, they didn't press, but they bring some players up, and then they're forced to play this long ball into midfield, because Nama midfield, they're so far behind, far ahead of the defense, that when that ball gets played into midfield, Tetwa wins it. Mart won the last one when they tried to do the second ball thing, as the coach said. So for me, I don't give credit for that. It was cool for the first 2 or 3 times, but when there's a result on the line and you've been caught out a few times, change. So maybe it goes to our coach. Now coach saying he gives them credit. So let's see how they play from now on. But for me, it doesn't make any sense.
Good afternoon, Coach Karao from Supersport. Coach, I think you gave Gonzalez the strike about 27 or 30 minutes. What is it that you expected of him? What did you ask of him? Did you get what you wanted? Because a lot of Chiefs supporters, they really don't understand what are the demands from him. And what is it that you're seeing differently from him in training that you think is good enough to play for this big brand?
I think the Colombians, and having worked with a Colombian before in Renteria, you remember Renteria? They very, very stubborn people, but they also love football. And I've been trying to understand what Gonzalez is all about, because that's how I got the best out of Renteria. And I think if we give him a little more opportunity, and I'm able to train with him a little bit more, he'll get used to what Kaizer Chiefs brand is all about. Because South Americans don't worry how big the brand is, as long as they're able to play in front of people. And when they do that, then they shine a little bit better. And yes, as a striker, I think Gonzalez has got something in his feet, and he's going to surprise us a lot more when he starts understanding who we are as Africans. And then you'll probably see a little bit better out of him. He's got very, very good feet. He's got very, very good head body on him, and he's physically getting better all the time. So
No, coach. You're chasing a win. It's 0-0. You need the 3 points. People have been fired recently. Chiefs were sitting number 11th at the time. Why experiment? If you still need to see what this player is about and you need to train with him more, why call upon this player to be the sole striker? No proper support, but to be a sole striker when you are chasing a game and chasing a result. I don't understand that. And I think it comes back to PSL coaches thinking that they have 7 years to coach a team and to get a team ready. You need to do what's best now. If you're going to play Gonzalez, I suggest if we're in a 0-0 situation and we're looking for a goal, play Gonzalez and Chivavairo because Chiefs was intent on crossing. Play both of them, and at least you have a Chivavairo that was a little bit on form last season, that can back up Gonzalez, that can be enough of a threat that Gonzalez isn't just alone trying to find his feet. You're trying to find him. He's alone up front. No, guys. Lastly, we saw Gonzalez playing right back. What does the scouting report say? What does the scouting report say at the end of the day? I don't understand all of this. Like, again, it feels as though there's no relationships between the players themselves. There's no relationship between the coaching staff because Botile and Shepard are still there. They could have told you what he's about because they went and signed him. Shepard was around when they signed Gonzalez. You go to training. You have these games. You've seen him you've got footage of him playing. Who signed him? Why did you sign him? Why are you still asking questions about what he's going to give us? I disagree with the coach. Don't experiment at this time. 8 years into a trophyless drought and you're experimenting. Experiment when you are 3-0 up and you've got 15 minutes. Then you can send him out to go see. Then there's less pressure on him and less pressure on the team. But if you're just going to put him out for 30 minutes for no reason, where you yourself say you don't understand it, I don't get that. But anyway, let's carry on.
I'm expecting him to give us something as the season goes on. I expect him to give us more.
Coach, it was a hard craft, obviously, in very hot conditions. But first clean sheet in 8 games. And Buvuma gets his, I think, first start of the season. Are you happy for him? Why did he get the nod today?
Wow. First clean sheet in 8 seasons. Where's V?
8
games.
8
games? Wow. Yeah, look, it's not about Bruce. It's about the team in front of him. And yes, we come away with no goals conceded. But I think the whole team has to be congratulated. And yes, he gets a chance. He's got to make sure that he keeps it. His head doesn't go to his body and he's able to maintain. Because I think I can say the same thing about Happy Mashiani. I can say the same thing about Pony. I can say the same thing about Bibo. You know, they're all young players. I can say the same thing about Shaba. On the bench, in the pitch, it doesn't matter. You are part of the 20 and it's credit to all of them.
Shout out to Bruce. First clean sheet in 8 games, as they've said here. I think he did well. I think he was commanding. I like that he was talking to his defense a lot more than I've seen the other keepers do. Made some critical saves and apparently signed a new contract. So maybe that's going to give him, that boost, man. That's going to make him want to keep the job and play well. But shout out to him. Very good performance. Very, very good performance. On the other ones, guys, sometimes you just need to release players, man. Sometimes you need to let players go and find themselves elsewhere, whether it's on loan or transfer. Mashiane has been benched ever since 2019. Oh, not 2019, 2021 in the final versus Al Ali. Ever since then, we haven't seen him. Abu Khatebe, Shabalala seems to be not a favorite anymore. Abu Nkosing Pile have been at the club for years. Maybe it's time, man, to just take the guys, send them on loan, let them get some game time, let them play, let them develop, let them grow, because clearly they're not going to do it at Kaizer Chiefs. So it's good to see Bruce come in. It's good to see him get a clean sheet. Hopefully he can be the unexpected answer to the problems that we've been having. But we'll see.
Coach, coaching in South Africa, just touching on some of those young players who are not so young in the case of Mashiane, who came into the matchday squad. Very rare appearances in the matchday squad for him, as well as Khajibe. What is the future for them? Because they haven't really figured in a lot of games for Kaizer Chiefs, not just this season, but in the seasons previous. And we know, of course, there will always be conversations about them, especially when another transfer is on the horizon. But we have seen you have been able to give them an opportunity with the likes of Shabalala as well. They have also got an opportunity under your regime. So what is the future for those two specific players, Mashiane and Khadebe, going into the next year?
Maybe it's because I'm also a young coach and the young players. So they play for young people. No, I see a bright future for them. I just see that they, we've had quite a few injuries, and they had to put up their hand. And for me, they put up their hand at the right moment. They come in now. They gotta, like you said, they're not that young anymore, but they gotta put up their hand a little bit higher in order not to be subservient to the guys that are injured.
Yeah.
But how long, coach? How long? I think the problem with South Africa and the problem with a lot of our teams, they're not so young, these guys. They're not. They're not incredible players anymore. They're not, right? How long are you going to wait for hands to be put up? And over and above that fact, how long are you going to wait until you act on these players? So he's not putting his hand up, but he's also not getting any younger, and he's also not getting any game time. So after 2 years of you not being ready, what's going to make you ready? Send them out on loan. Honestly, send them out on loan. Let them play some PSL football elsewhere. Let them do all of these things, and then you can bring them back. You can bring them back when they're ready, when they've played, because clearly they're not going to get ready at Kaizer Chiefs. And we're not in a situation where these players are going to get played. So let them go out and learn and grow.
And the coach, if we look, especially in the second half, maybe I was not clear in terms of where is Modi playing, but I saw him more effective coming openly from the wing in the second half, and also being supported by Saile. Where do you really want to see Modi affecting this team? And also, just overall, maybe going back to the first question, how important is in your structure, in the team, especially a big club like this one, is to have a dressing room that is also full of discipline, and that discipline also filtering through to the young ones?
Now, Modi is a wide player. He plays wide, and he's starting to understand how we want him to play wide. I think I think Modi has played all 3 games for me, right? I'm not sure, but he's played and he's coming wide. He's going in. Today he really put up his hand. Today is the Modi. I think Modi played for Golden Arrows before, right? Today is the Modi I've seen that likes to play. He likes to run. He defends. He attacks. So yes, he will improve if he has that. And at the same time, today I saw a Modi that was really, really complimenting the team, because the team wanted to have him more in the game. So I like that. The dressing room, you can't really ask me those questions about the dressing room now, because the dressing room is strong. You can see them now. You go in the dressing room now, you see how strong they are. And since I've been here, the dressing room, I always felt that the dressing room has been strong. It's never been something that was not there. You know what I'm saying? Or something that I had to come and create. The dressing room has been strong for when I took over. It has always been strong. So maybe I just made it a little bit stronger. I got a strong younger man.
I think maybe push the.
On Modi, honestly speaking, I think Modi needs a partner. I think Modi needs somebody that he can play with on the wing. And especially because the way that Modi has been successful at Kaizer Chiefs with the goals he scored hasn't necessarily come from him playing a pure winger. It's come from combinations with someone there with him. I don't think I've seen a Modi cross off the top of my head. So I still have that question, coach. I still have that question, to be honest with you. But hey, if he says he's good in that position, he is the coach. In terms of the dressing room, it still doesn't feel like Chiefs' dressing room is strong. It feels like Chiefs' dressing room, okay, maybe they're strong in off the pitch stuff, but on the pitch, we don't have leaders and a lot of the players are questionable. So, what do you do in that situation? I don't even want to touch on the rumors because those are rumors, but what do you do when you don't have leaders on the pitch? Like, it becomes a situation where they're great for photos, they're great for promo work, they're great for interviews, but on the pitch, man, doesn't seem like those guys are together.
The right question was not just from Chiefs, but even your experience as a coach. How important is to have a disciplined, especially senior members of the team, so that filters through to the young boys.
Belile is trying to bait him into the question for Kune. He's trying to bait him.
Very, very, very important. And I will be the first one to put up my hand if the dressing room is not right. It's finished. Another one. Yeah.
Congratulations once again, coach. Does it worry you that you sometimes have to speak about disciplinary issues rather than the talent of the players? Because as I said, as a Chiefs coach, it's not only about coaching the players; it's about managing a lot of things outside of the club. Does it worry you that you have to worry about certain things that are not football related, and how are you managing well? Because you see it.
I have a strong backbone in the people that are working for Kaizer Chiefs. Kimiso, Jabu, Vina, Bobby, Kaizer Jr. himself. I think people don't realize how strong that platform is as far as Kaizer Chiefs is concerned. So for me, yes, I normally have, or I've had those issues at other clubs. It's an African thing that we have to be able to manage, and sometimes you have a lot of people who's able to manage it correctly, and then you get it right, and sometimes you don't have enough people to manage it and you get it wrong because you may be a dictator, you're not a leader, things like that. So you gotta see where you're gonna touch and where you're not gonna touch, and who touches what and what you touch. And I think I've actually not mastered that, but like I say, I come from the rainbow where it was black and white, and when you come from Western, you're able to maneuver all those things.
Last two questions, coach.
Thank
Yeah. This is why things will not change. And I'm hoping, I really am hoping that he's acting in front of us and they're addressing things behind the scenes, because he's mentioning a lot of people. Well, he's mentioning the Chiefs people. And the club's been trophyless for 8 seasons. There's been a carousel of players in and out, just musical chairs. Everyone comes in and out of the team. Now there's rumors of this and that. Is the leadership strong? That's the question I want to know. And if the coaches genuinely believe that this is the best leadership structure we could have, then I don't know if it'll ever change. I don't know. And that's why I say, I'm not necessarily saying that he needs to come out and say it out loud and all of that. I just hope that what he's saying outside is an act to keep us all together, whether it be from the player side, whether it be from management side, to keep them and keep things behind closed doors. But I genuinely hope that something is happening behind closed doors and that he's putting his foot down, that he's speaking, that there's actually some sort of pushback in the back,
Thank you very much.
Coach, it's just over a month away from the January window. You were thrown into this position quite early from your academy role. Are you part of the discussions of how to bolster the squad or not?
I'm part of the discussion as to how to make Kaizer Chiefs better. And that includes a lot of things. So to be specific, I don't think I can say that. But I'm part of a discussion that's making the brand where it was, and hopefully we're able to get it to that level, because then you will get the correct answers and the correct feedback from the right people, instead of all the sources you guys got. I think I said the other day when you asked me about all these things that's going on, I'm saying, tell the sources, let's make a factory, and we open up a sauce factory.
Well, we already have chips. He was head of scouting, so you can believe that he's part of it, and as coach. So if he's not part of it in his capacity as coach, in the few months that he's been at Chiefs, he's probably had to have been part of it as head of scouting. That's just simply how it's put. I don't know why he doesn't want to say it, but yeah, maybe he's not. Who knows? But let's hear how he finishes off.
Temba, you said the last one.
I said last week.
Last?
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one. Huh?
Yeah, it's the last one. Coach, looking at how the team is shaping up, I mean, you won one of the most difficult games. I mean, this was a tough game. Where do you think the team is short in terms of going forward, keeping in mind that the transfer window is coming, and giving more time at the helm of Kaizer Chiefs? What can the fans expect from you should they're looking for a coach be prolonged?
Look, I think it will be naive of me to tell you that we need a new kit man or a new water bottle man or something like that, because like I just answered your question, it's a conversation that takes place at a much higher level than myself included. But when the decisions are made, I think as a club, Kaizer Chiefs will then inform you guys correctly. Guys, we want 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's the way I would like to answer that, because it doesn't sound right for me as a head coach to come and say, hey, you know what, we weak, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to work with these players tomorrow. They're going to weak you also. You understand? So at the moment, I think we're getting a solid team together to compete for points, and hopefully we're able to compete for something else other than points also come the season of 2023-24.
Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, colleagues.
Well handled. If there's one thing about Kevin Johnson, he will handle press conferences very well. I always say that South African media tries to bait coaches into saying things that maybe they shouldn't say. That'll make the club sound bad, like he said there. Why should I say it as a coach, or why do you want me to say this is poor, that is poor, that is poor? I got to work with these players tomorrow, and we can't just be throwing players under the bus and the team under the bus. So I like how he handled this. I like how he handles himself in press conferences in general. Yes, do I agree with everything that he says? Not really, but it's good to see a coach with a good head on his shoulders. He seems to be confident. Hopefully that filters through into the team. But thank you guys so much for listening to me. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Follow the Facebook page, follow the TikTok page, follow the YouTube page, and help support us growing our local football. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.